All right, so I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Sarah Torbert, and my job is to be the volunteer development specialist for the state 4-H office. So that actually allows me to be in charge of helping to form the new development committees that we're looking to form. So we're starting with horse. It's a natural place to start. It's kind of been in the works for a few years. So we're actually trying to get some youth and adults together to be part of this committee. And so I'm going to start out by telling you a little bit about what Jonathan Despain, who's the state program leader, he was going to try to be on, but my guess is we're having some bad weather here, so who knows if he was able to connect. But I'll tell you a little bit about what we see the goals of this committee being, and then you can ask questions, and we'll have everybody introduce themselves and talk a little bit about our future plans. So the reason we developed this committee is that horses is one of the largest projects in the Wyoming 4-H program, which all of you know you're probably all active or involved in some way, which is why you're part of this committee. So we talked with Jenny Ingersoll, who's on the phone too, about kind of what our goals were for this group. And for those of you, just kind of the things we're not looking to do, this isn't a group that's going to create rules and regulations about the state horse show or horse shows in your county. That's not really what this group is about. This group is really about the educational process that goes on as part of the 4-H program. So we're hoping as a group you can help us redesign and review the horse levels program, which has been kind of out of sync for a while. We're kind of outdated with that. And I know Jenny's looking for some suggestions from all of you to help us figure out what the best direction for that levels committee to go is. Another thing we want to do is look at how we can provide training opportunities to our volunteers and our older youth so that they can go back to their counties and train and help other members in the 4-H program. So what does that look like? Where should it happen? How should it happen? We also want to look at educational opportunities for youth enrolled in the horse project. An example of this would be something you're probably very familiar with as horse camp. We need to think about, is that the best method to be doing education, or is there another option for us to do that? Was it, and I know Jenny's been going out to doing workshops in the different areas, so is that what we need to look towards? What is the best educational way for us to reach our young people look like? So we're going to talk about that as part of this group. We also want to review the horse curriculum, which you may or may not have been using. I know there is a newer version somewhere in transit happening, and we just want to get your opinions on what works in the counties, what doesn't work, what kind of support you need in order to have a great horse program in your counties. And I think the other thing I thought about too is we also want to look at other opportunities. Are there other things we could be doing as a state that maybe would help to engage those that maybe aren't into showing horses? Do we want to host some local trail rides or other opportunities? Do we want to do a horseless horse program to help those kids who maybe don't have horses learn about it? So what are the other things that are out there that people might be interested in supporting as part of this group? So that's kind of what our long-term goals are. 3 to 5 years down the road, nothing's going to happen overnight because we're all living in different places and we'll get together very seldomly. But in turn, that's kind of where we want this group to go. So it kind of gives you an idea of why we asked you to be part of this group and what kind of things you should be thinking about as part of this horse development committee long-term. So does anybody have any questions kind of about what the goals of this group happen to be? Okay. Go ahead. Okay, seeing none, the next thing I really want to do is I think it'd be great if we get to meet the people that are part of this group so you know who else you'll be working with and maybe what their areas of expertise are, what their areas of interest are. So I probably will call on you just to make life easier than trying to have to figure out who goes next. But if you could just say your name, maybe the county you're from, what your horse knowledge or why you think you got selected to be part of this committee. And then in turn, maybe if you have any goals or things you're really interested in learning more about or interested in being part of the change agent for, if you could share those with us, that would be great. So Jenny, I think everybody needs to know who you are. So Jenny, if you want to start to kind of tell us a little about your background and where you see this committee going, that would be great.
Again, I am Jenny Ingersoll. This is going on actually my 3rd year of being here, so I am relatively new to the program. I appreciate all the input we've had from activities from volunteers already. I'm the equine specialist on campus. I teach the undergraduate equine courses, coach horse judging team, advise ranch horse team, and then in the summers work with the 4-H program. My background was growing up on a farm with breeding horses, raising horses, training horses through the 4-H program in Nebraska. Big supporter of the 4-H. So my goal, I would like to see with this group is seeing just some collaboration across the state so we can have a little bit more, it's a very big picture, but more continuity from county to county across the state. So that's my big goal with this group.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Jenny. So Jesse, I hate to put you on the spot, but I can see you. So do you want to go next? And if you don't, just tell us at least your name, what county you're from, and maybe your horse knowledge. And then if you have more comments about what you want to do as part of this group, that'd be great.
This is Stuart Thompson, and I've joined you guys.
Okay, Stuart, I've got you marked off. We're actually just introducing ourselves right now. So Jessie Garson is going to tell us a little bit about herself and where she sees her role as part of this group.
I'm Jessie Garson. I'm from Goshen County, and I'm involved in the 4-H horse program, and I horse judge. So
any goals for what kind of things you're super interested in helping out with, Jessie?
No, not really. I just want people to just work together and just be able to, I don't know.
Okay, awesome, thanks. Mercedes, you want to go next since your mic is on already?
Sure. I'm Mercedes Powers. I'm in Goshen County. I kind of am unique because I help with horse safety certifications. I help organize our horse show. I'm the horse judging coach. I've grown up with Arabian horses. I used to show quarter horses, worked with a lot of performance horse trainers. I just want to have our kids in Goshen County and across the state to grow more and to learn more about the different areas they can compete in and different opportunities, and just to keep it growing. Interest is slowly starting to die off here in Goshen County, so I want to increase it and get it going again.
Okay, great, thanks. All right, I saw Rogan Huff on. Rogan, are you there that you could introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Rogan, and I'm from Natrona County, and I'm new to this, so I have some new ideas for it.
You have some new ideas, or you don't have any new ideas?
I do.
Okay, do you want to tell us one of them?
Do we need to raise money for anything?
We don't have, but you could in your local county, but we don't need to raise money for part of this group, so.
Since I wish we could do a little bit more trail riding and stuff, and get together in counties and ride together.
Okay, so looking for non-showing opportunities. What a great idea. All right, Amanda, we're going to have you go next.
I'm Amanda Kaufman. I'm from Johnson County, and I don't know, I've been involved with the 4-H program for many years. I worked with the levels. I was actually a level 4 raider, and I run the 4-H program in this county and help with horse camp. And so I would love to see the levels program come back, and my other, I guess, deal would be more educational opportunities, more clinics, things where kids can learn from qualified people. So
Great.
That would be me.
Perfect. That's exactly what we're talking about. So thank you. All right, Haley, you're up next.
Okay, I'm Haley Noble. I'm from Sublette County, and for 4-H, I think it's mostly Western here in my county, and I'd like to get more people into English here because there's only 2 of us that do it.
Cool. Great. Thanks, Haley. All right. I saw Krista on. Krista, are you still there?
Yeah, I am. I was in 4-H for 10 years in Colorado, where I did horse bowl, horse judging, hippology, and all forms of riding. And this is my first year here in Albany County. And what I would really like to see is horse bowl come back to Wyoming. I spoke with Mary, and she says horse bowl's not really a big thing here in Wyoming. And that was a huge part of my horse 4-H. And like you were talking about, you were looking for more educational opportunities. I think it's something that the kids really enjoy, especially as a younger age, since it's in a kind of a Jeopardy style, and kids really love to do that.
Great. Awesome. Thanks. All right. Glenn. You have to unmute your thing after I made you mute it. You have to unmute it now. There you go.
Hey. I'm Glenn Smith, Campbell County 4-H leader. This is my second year doing this. I kind of got involved with the 4-H horse program just for some fact as we had a few incidences where the kid is not at the level of the horse or vice versa. So I want to be able to to these kids about horsemanship. As a horse trainer, it's kind of detrimental for me to be having that concept of both a child and a horse working together to gain what they're looking for versus, just riding off into the sunset with their wind blowing in their hair.
Great. And any comments about things you're super interested in as part of this committee?
As far as the levels go, I think is kind of interests me. I mean, we don't really have a whole lot of that up here. It's just kind of, can you ride your horse and then you sign off type of deal versus knowledge of, the horse anatomy and in school kind of a thing that we're kind of trying to start with this. But we don't want to get it so involved that it bores the kids either. You know what I mean? So.
Great, thanks. All right, Stuart, you're up next.
Well, I'm on a cell phone, and I hope you can hear me. I guess from what I've listened to, because I didn't hear the first part, I'm an 18-year master leader, horse leader. I've been involved with horses all my life, and I'm over 70. We have a 4-H horse program in Sublette County that is extremely variable from club to club. And the programs that I'm familiar with are basically equestrian skills programs. They're not so much trail riding or raising horses, they're teaching equestrian skills. I'm not sure where the standing for levels testers are, but when we had an active levels program, and it's my understanding it's not dead, just nobody's doing it. I'm a level 4 tester, and have been for over 10 years. I'm an amateur competitor with reiners and pleasure horses. I've been a saddle bronc rider in my youth, an outfitter, a guide. There's not much that I haven't done with horses, from feeding with teams to showing Western pleasure. My kids are grown past 4-H, and I still have an active 4-H club with 7 kids in it that will compete county fair here on Monday. And I guess my interest in youth horsemanship in the 4-H programs in Wyoming is summed up in a lot of the publications that are available through 4-H, which are basically around teaching equestrian skills, both English and Western, and they're not as much different as people think. It's eye, leg, hand, and in most events, and that I'm interested in getting programs and standards, and like the levels programs, which are based upon a lot of work that's been done in the past to create documentation on equestrian skills. And just whatever I can bring to the table to help further that, that's what I volunteered to do here. So I'm not quite sure what this committee's agenda is, but that's where I am.
Great. I think you hit our agenda on the head. We talked about it a little bit before you got here, and I'll try to maybe reiterate some of that a little bit before we close the call. But I also want to introduce, we have a couple people who are like ex officio, I think that's what it's called, members of the committee, which are basically, we have four educators who are interested in helping with the committee, but we really wanted to focus it on volunteers and youth. So we're asking them to come and give input and help us out. And one of those is on the call with us tonight. So Scott, if you want to take a chance to introduce yourself, that'd be great.
Hi guys, I'm Scott Cotton. I'm the UW area educator in the center part of the state based in Casper. I've been leading 4-H horse programs for about 24 years in 3 states, including Colorado, where I served on the state committee, was based in Pueblo. I served on the state horse committee and conducted the Fort Robinson horse camp over by Chadron for about a decade. Family's been horsing around in this state since about 1878. Like Stuart, we've done just about everything from cowboying to teamsters to building railroads with horses. So I'm just here to help you guys and provide any insight and some good ideas from other places, maybe if they apply. And I guess my focus is the same as it always has been, and that's learning and fun, because that's what makes the Equine Project really worthwhile for guys. So anything I can do to help.
Thanks, Scott. Is there anyone that I missed when I went through? I think I got everyone, but I just want to make sure everyone had a chance to speak. Okay. So we have a great group of very experienced horsemen people in 4-H in Wyoming, and we also have some really new people, which is great. I think we have a really good mix of youth adults, experience, new to the group, new to horses, and maybe just new to 4-H, but very veteran with horses. So I'm excited to get all of us together and really talk about where we want to see the program go. So before I go on, also the other people that will be helping us from Extension, Cinnamon Lenhart, who is from Campbell County, will be part of this group. She just wasn't able to make it tonight. Alex Malcolm, who is from Fremont County, I have to think about these things. And then Caitlin Pittman, who's the new educator in Teton, all have horse experience and are hoping to kind of serve in the same role Scott does, where they just kind of help provide experience about what's going on in their county. I know Cinnamon in Campbell County has been working really hard to try to get that program lined out, so she has a lot of ideas too to bring to the table. We also have about 10 people that are missing off the group, so hopefully they'll be able to join us next time. I'll send them the transcripts of what we said to kind of keep them up to date on what's happening. So I'm just going to review again the things I talked about at the beginning, because I really want your minds thinking about how we're going to move forward related to these things. It sounds like we have a lot of people who are really interested in the Levels program, which is great because it's been on our radar to get going again, which is kind of a testing to make sure kids are ready to advance to maybe different types of riding, and then also adding that knowledge base in, which I'm not sure has been completely part of it in the past. I'm new to Wyoming too, so I don't know a lot about that. So I think we can all kind of work on that together with the knowledge of those who have been here a while and those of us who may be new to the program. So that's one thing we really want to work on as a group. So kind of if that's your interest, we're hoping to form some subcommittees that can really dive into that. So that may be something that you might be interested in doing. Another thing is education opportunities. We talked about that a lot. Horse Bowl, someone mentioned, and then maybe non-educational but fun opportunities, which Scott talked about, and then also Rogan talked about wanting to do more trail riding or having more group events at your county, and how do we promote those. May fit into what Mercedes was talking about as far as growing programs within our counties and how to keep our youth involved and engaged if maybe they're not engaged currently. And then I know Stuart talked a little bit about the fact that we have great curriculum out there, and there's lots of it. There's some that Jenny's been working on, and also some that is available from the National 4-H Council. And how do those fit into our program, and what will best serve our volunteers, I think is a big thing we would like to talk about. And I think that kind of covers the things. Once again, we're not going to talk about, and no one talked about it, so I'm really excited. No one talked about rules and state fair classes, because that's really not why we're here. So I appreciate that everybody was focused on the right reason for being here. So thank you for that. So I guess I just want to, does anybody have any other comments or questions to add to the discussion, or things that they want to talk more about or have questions about the group that they want to ask?
This is Stuart. I forgot to mention that I'm on the board of directors and I'm vice president of the Wyoming Quarter Horse Association, and we are very supportive of the 4-H equestrian program in the state, and we make some donations to the 4-H program, and we could expand them, and we could expand our expertise as instructors or so forth. As well. And I've been authorized to say that.
Great, we like
But I forgot.
Not a problem. We definitely like opportunities for us to use money to create opportunities for young people. So that's good to know. And I also wrote down that maybe partnerships and how we best partner with other entities or other people who are doing the same work that we are is also something that we can discuss as a group also. So thanks, Stuart, for that mentioning that. Does anyone else have any other comments or questions regarding kind of what we talked about so far this evening? Okay, this was really supposed to be a short meeting. I just want to get everybody on board, involved, understanding kind of where we're heading. Our next meeting is going to be at the Wisconsin State Fair. It's going to be Wednesday, which will be after the show. It's going to be at 6 p.m. at the fairgrounds in their conference room, which is like in the main building. And
Sarah?
Yes.
You said Wisconsin State.
Oh, I'm from Wisconsin. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Scott. I do this all the time. The Wyoming State Fair, they're both W's. It really confuses. So we're not going to Wisconsin. We're meeting at the Wyoming State Fair. Thank you. And I got the conference room booked for 6 o'clock. We'll provide everybody with supper. If you're just coming in for the day and you are looking for a free way to get in or need some reimbursement, please let me know. We do have some money set aside for this committee. So if that's something that's going to hold you back from coming, let us know and we can work on that. And I'll send an email out with all these details after we're done tonight. But I don't want you to say I can't come because I don't want to pay the money to get in the state fair, or I don't know where it is, or whatever it happens to be. Let me know, because we want to get as many people there as possible. So my goal that night is to really start delving into where your interests lie and how we can break apart, maybe into different subcommittees. And then if you didn't know, there were 60 people that applied to be part of this group. So congratulations for making it on the group, because we tried to really pick a wide variety of people. But our goal then is to use some of those people on subcommittees. So if the horse camp decides they really want to keep going as horse camp, we're going to use some of those people to be able to help us engage in planning that horse camp adventure. So it's not here in our office. I don't know anything about horses. I'm really good at organizing people. That's my job. But in turn, for me to come teach at horse camp, which happened last year, it was terrible, is not a good use of my time or my expertise, because I made treats. They turned out terrible. So don't ever ask me to do that again. So I really want to use all of you and all the people that applied to be part of this group who have an educational interest to really move our program forward. So just kind of that's our goal, is 6 o'clock on Wednesday, August 16th at this Wyoming State Fairgrounds at their conference room in their educational building. I'll send you a map where it outlines exactly where that is and how you get in the gate and all that kind of stuff. So, and that's where we'll really maybe get more into exactly what your role will be or where you want to take it. We'll bring some copies of the educational materials we have that you can look at. I don't want it to last too long. We only have the room till 8 o'clock, so it won't be a super long meeting, but at least get us face-to-face talking with each other and kind of looking at how we move the program forward.
This is Stuart. I have a question. If we are just coming for the day, and I don't know whether I am or not, I have been coming to the State Fair Horse Show for 20 years, and but if we don't have any kids from Sublette County coming, I may not come and help produce the show. And I'd just be coming to this meeting. If that's the case, is there any accommodations that we can get in the dormitories up there with meals for that period of time?
So I'll provide supper. We're going to probably order subs or pizza. So meals, no, but we can definitely get you a dorm room for that evening if you need to stay overnight.
Oh, okay. Well, that was my question. If I'm coming with youth from Sublette County and helping with fair show, I will have a living quarters horse trailer there. But if not, I'll just drive in there for the meeting that night.
Okay, great. So when I send the email out, I'll ask you all to reply if you need accommodations that night, or if you have any questions regarding, but the accommodations are going to be dorms. We won't put you up in a hotel, sorry, so you get to sleep in the dorms with the kids. So if that's that we can provide that without a problem. So, all right.
Very good, thank you.
Jenny, did I miss anything that you want to add? We have 10 minutes left on the call, so we have about 13 minutes. So Jenny, if I missed anything that you want to add, I'd appreciate anything you have to add for this.
I just wanted to say thank you all for applications and the time and your commitment to the program, whether you're just starting out and want to do some more trail rides, or if you've been doing this for a long, long time. I really appreciate your dedication. We can't do it without you. We don't want to blindly lead this. We really, really value input from the community and leaders and youth on how to best form this moving forward. So I'm really excited for this opportunity. The State Fair Horse Show, I will be around Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So if you just want to pop in and say hi, I'll be kind of running around. But the schedule does technically start Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday if you're interested in just stopping by.
And if you haven't met Jenny, you can tell who she is because she is going to be very pregnant. Sorry, Jenny, I called you out. So that's how you'll know which one she is at the horse show wandering around. You can definitely, she's long blonde hair if you haven't met Jenny yet. So
I was going to say, yeah, that will be correct. I will be 7 to 8 months pregnant by then. So I will be the very pregnant blonde lady walking around.
That's right. All right, I want to say my favorite part about this whole deal is I'm really big into youth involvement, and this is one of our first committees to ever have a youth-adult true partnership. So I think that we are going to be trendsetters for the future of the Wyoming 4-H program. So I'm super excited to see our young people and our adults working together for the betterment of the program. So that for me is the most exciting part of this, is that we're going to make change and do it in a way that's really 4-H related. We're doing youth adult partnerships, which is what we're all about. So thank you for willing to be part of this and have a voice if you're adult or a young person. So thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, so I don't have anything else unless someone else does, but I just want to thank you. I'll see you on the 16th. I'll send out a follow-up email to remind you about everything, send a map, that kind of thing. And like I said, if you have questions about accommodations, things like that, you can email me and we can work on making sure that you have somewhere to stay, and I will get everybody food that evening. So.
And what's your email address?
It's the one that keeps sending you all the emails. It's storbert@uwyo. So I'll send you an email right now when we're done. Well, probably tomorrow morning, and then you can just reply to that. All right. Everybody have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you hopefully at the State Fair.